Welcome back, everybody, and now, as you've probably all seen, last time we were here, we were telling the story of how Sam Ice leaves his home. Well, but now we're getting to the part that will change the poor boy's life forever. So just sit back, relax, and get ready, as it's about to begin. Almost half an hour later, Sam joined John and Gabriel in the dining hall, a large stone room with a huge long table crafted out of ironwood in front of a large black stone fireplace, 5 small ironwood crafted long tables in front of the long table, a chandelier in the centre of the ceiling. A round purple shield with a white rose was placed above the fireplace. A large elk fur pelt sat in the centre of the room, with the manor servants busying about with trays for Gabriel, his half-brother, and their father. "Now then, son, what's happened that you had to summon me from Castle Highland?" John asked as he took a mug of ale from one of the servants. Gabriel took a deep breath and began. "A few weeks ago we intercepted a magus from Gileadstead in the Western Kingdoms. She is part of the Sisterhood of the Fallen Gods. She claimed to be here looking for Sam." A shiver ran down Gabriel's spine. "I don't know what she meant by that, but we know. But she was also carrying this." Gabriel clapped his hands 3 times. Then 2 servants brought forth a large sphere wrapped in a dark grey cloth, set it in front of Gabriel, and he unravelled it carefully. It was a large crystal ball that was the colours of dark blue and emerald green. John looked at the ball in shock. Gabriel and Sam could see that he knew what it was. What is it, Father?" Sam asked tentatively. John looked up at them. "This is the Mind Crystal, forged by the Badakwoness Morgana the Deceiver in the dark days of Babylon, the time when the Dark Elves returned and waged a war against Babylon's peoples. It was said that when Emrys the Great, Merlin the Wise, and the rest of the Magic Council attacked Morrowind after the Elf War ended, the Mind Crystal was believed to have been lost, so it passed into legend. But the Guildmaster Geoffrey of Elf House de Montho has studied the laws of Babylon for over 300 years, so I'm sure he knows what this will mean," John said in a very calm but worried tone. Sam and Gabriel looked at each other, then at their father. But what is the Mind Crystal? What does it do? I've read all the books we have on ancient Babylon lore, but I've never heard of this crystal, which is why Sam stopped as John's brown eyes looked at him suddenly. Gabriel put a hand on his arm as Sam began to be very afraid. "What did you do, Sam?" John asked firmly, but there was a steely edge to his voice. Gabriel's silvery grey eyes flashed as he looked at their father. "It wasn't Sam's fault. He didn't know it was dangerous," but before Gabriel could finish, he stopped as Sir John held up a hand to stop him. His eyes were fixed on Sam, who refused to meet his gaze. "Look at me, Sam." John's commanding but calm voice made Sam look up. "What did you do?" John asked calmly but firmly. Sam took a deep breath and began. "I couldn't stop myself. I could hear it, somehow, calling to me. So I went to Physician Camroth of Snow Elf House Harrian's chamber. I saw the ball and took it to my chamber, but Gabe and Susie followed me, telling me to put it back. I should have listened. But then, when I looked into the crystal, I felt my hands grasp it without me wanting them to, and then I saw a woman in the mind crystal. I could hear her voice in my head. She sounded kind and soothing. She said that she was my birth mother, by the name of Morgan the Enchantress of Gileadstead. Her skin was pale, her hair was black, and her eyes were green. And she said that she had been looking for me for a long time. She said that John Seal stole me from her when I was a baby, but I didn't believe her. Then she said that it was she who put the scar on my chest, but I didn't know anymore, because when I woke up, Physician Camroth said, as well as Gabe and Susie, said I'd been out cold for 4 days. Sam broke down in tears. Gabriel put an arm around his shoulders and looked into John's brown eyes. His own silvery grey eyes flashed like a drawn blade. John knew that Gabriel was in no mood to be lied to, and neither was Sam. They wanted the truth. I think we all need to know the truth about Sam's birth. Don't you think so, Susannah? Gabriel asked, just as his and Sam's sister, Susannah Seal, came walking into the dining room. John turned to see his daughter walk towards them. At the age of 19, she was entering the full bloom of northern women beauty. Her chestnut brown hair fell down past her shoulder blades. Her eyes were bright blue like her Uncle Samson's, whom is John's second brother and who he named Sam after. Her neck was long and slender, her nose small but straight. Her breasts were beginning to grow large and firm. Her skin was white as fresh milk. Her hips were wide, her lips were bright pink, and her waist was narrow from the bright purple corset she wore. She also wore a dark purple dress with a white rose on the front, the sigil of House Seal, a brown leather belt across her waist, caribou hide and lynx fur high-heel boots, and a bright purple shawl with a snow bear fur trim. In many ways, she resembled John's late wife, Lucy Seal, hers and Gabriel's mother, who died during the Grey Pox epidemic that spread through the northern kingdoms 5 years ago. I think we all have a right to know, so please, Father, tell us, Susannah said in her soft voice. John took a deep breath and looked at Sam, who had now looked up and into his father's eyes. Sam, the magus you saw in the mind crystal was Morgan the Enchantress of Gileadstead. She is your birth mother. Gabriel and Susannah gasped in shock, but Sam's eyes widened in shock. Then John continued. Years ago, when Gabriel was only a baby at the wet nurse's breast, I was sent to the Western Kingdoms by the guild leader at the time, Sir Solomon Braveheart Vangar of Icadia. May he rest with the gods. That was when I met Morgan the Enchantress of Gileadstead. She introduced herself to me at the Wizard's Hat and Staff Inn. She tried to seduce me, but I told her I was married and had a son. But then he used a powerful enchantment on me. Then she made me lie with her, and she became pregnant with you, Sam. I had no idea what she would do with you after you were born, but she kept me imprisoned for 9 months after that. Then she told me her plans. She planned to use you as a blood sacrifice to the fallen gods Regana and Polaris. I couldn't let her do that. So I broke free of my imprisonment and stopped her from sacrificing you. She then used her powers to magic brand you so she would be able to find you. After that, I took you back north to the northern kingdoms and Winterhollow Manor. Lucy had heard the rumours that I had lain with another woman in the western kingdoms, so when I got back to Winterhollow, I explained everything to her. She was understanding and said that we shall raise you as a true son of House Seal. Then you came along, Susannah, and everything was perfect. But we both agreed not to tell you until it was the right time. John finished his tale. His children looked at him in shock, but Sam was most shocked of all. So you mean to say that my birth mother wanted to use me as a blood sacrifice? Why did you keep this from me my whole life? Sam snapped angrily at John, who looked at him somberly. It was for your own safety, Sam. If Morgan had known where you were, she would have marched upon Winterhollow and taken you away. But now the manor cannot protect you. John stood up and looked at his children. In the morning, I ride for Castle Highland. I will take the Mind Crystal with me, as it'll be safer there. But I won't be going alone. He finished gravely and looked at Sam with a sad look on his face. I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave it here as well. But I should probably warn you, the next part is going to get very sad, so you may want to bring some tissues with you. Until then, take care everyone.